welcome to the 10 o'clock show. Apparently, tonight's show is about Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa is the star of the hit series, the Marvel Aquaman. He's starred in several of these pictures. But the scandal that is circulating around Jason Momoa is that some dirtbag conspiracy theorist grifter YouTube channels, QAnon fucking morons, decided to label him a child molester and were altering photos and videos of his children. Jason Momoa is a Samoan, and he's quite rich. He's quite rich, and he's probably the one guy you don't want to fuck with. And they fucked with his kids, and they altered the videos of his children, and were accusing him of child molestation and things like that, and putting out these YouTube and Periscope videos. In the last 48 hours, Jason Momoa has filed lawsuits against YouTube and Twitter, and he wants the names of the people who made the videos of these conspiracy theorists, which has led YouTube and Twitter to change its policies overnight. So now YouTube and Twitter are no longer going to allow people to use their API service after January. Expect big changes, big policy changes. They're actually going to have to authorize before you post. So when you go live with a YouTube video, they're going to be like, okay, we need to see, is this going to be a good video or is this going to be a bad video? We have to look at the title. We have to look at what it is before they authorize it. What does this mean? Jason Momoa is the star of the hit movie Aquaman. I'll put his picture up. But what they did to the man's absolutely, irresponsible. It's just, I mean, you can't do this to people. I mean, what do people expect? At some point, they got to drop the hammer on these conspiracy theorists because they've just gone totally nutty, wacky, foolish. And it's gotten to the point where conspiracy theorists are ruining every platform there is. I mean, they're just ruining it. They're ruining everything for everybody in sight. And you can call them Gestabos, but when you have, these people who are altering photos and videos of people's children, accusing them of child molestation, I mean, what do you expect these tech companies to do? Are they just going to keep allowing people to make these kind of videos? These slanderous videos, these far out, fringe conspiracy theorists, they're grifting and they're causing a lot of harm to a lot of folks. And when you accuse a parent of being a child molester or something like that, do you know what that does to the psychological psyche of a family? Especially if the children come across this. His children go to school, imagine being a little kid and you're at school. If you're at school and your classmate says, hey, I saw a video, your dad's touching you. So you got to think of it as Jason Momoa is thinking, oh my God, my poor children. And a parent's first reaction is to protect their children, right? It would be no different than Donald Trump protecting Barron Trump. And that's what's going on. And if you search Jason Momoa, you can find a couple posts with QAnon tagged in that he's a pedophile, Pizzagate, the usual shit. So what we're seeing is a shift in big tech. At some point, they got to take over. I'm not for censorship or anything like that. But when you're targeting people's children, people's kids, I think there's a fine line because you're targeting those that are vulnerable and they don't have a say in what you're doing. And here's where we're at, man. The day of the conspiracy theories coming to an end, and it's coming faster than people realize. It's coming faster than people realize because at some point the tech industry is going to have to start regulating this shit. So that means all these QAnon platforms, all of these, they're going to be done. They're going to be done because they're just going to tear them down. And they're going to, yeah, it's more Q crap. Of course it's Q. Everything starts with Q crap with these guys. It always ends up from the same fucking bunch. Everything. Every fucking bad thing that's going on the internet, it leads from there. I mean, I just read a story today of a young man, this kid named Buck Wolf. I don't know if you guys have heard about Buck Wolf. Buck Wolf was a schizophrenic. He started out watching conspiracy channels. He slowly started following all these conspiracy theory channels. And over time, he was watching, this conspiracy, that conspiracy, QAnon. He was a praying medic viewer. He was watching all these conspiracy theory channels, right? Well, he ends up taking a sword. And he slays his own brother with a sword. Killed his own brother while he slept with a fucking sword. Hacked him up. Hacked up his own brother. Because he had schizophrenia. He was watching these conspiracy theory channels. And he just got so inundated with these false narratives, these conspiracy theories. And people are like, oh, they have no impact. Oh, yes, they do have an impact. They have a huge impact. Of course, someone's got to make these judgments because there's no choice in it anymore. People aren't using the technology responsible. And if people can't be responsible with the technology, and they're using that technology to manipulate people, and use it to scam people, but then the mentally ill are becoming inundated with this false data, these false videos, what do you expect that the tech industry is going to do? Because after all, they're a business, right? They're liable to lawsuits. And what Jason Momoa is doing is he's holding the tech companies responsible. He's saying, hey, you let these guys up on your platform. Therefore, I'm going to sue you. You're responsible for these people putting out this content. So Jason Momoa is going a back door, and he's saying, no, I'm not going to hold the people who are doing the platforms. I'm going to hold the tech industry responsible. So what do you think the tech industry is going to do when someone files a lawsuit against them? And he's going to file a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. This ain't about a couple bucks. This guy's got enough money. He's got millions of dollars. We're talking, he's Aquaman, for Christ's sakes. So he's going to file a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. And you know what that does to tech companies, right? So he's going to go after them. And then the tech companies are going to say, look, okay, Jason Momoa, what we'll do is we're going to tear every conspiracy theory channel down. We're going to tear them down. But you can thank the conspiracy theorists for this happening, because they took it one step too far. Enough wasn't enough. They just had to keep going. They couldn't stop, right? They couldn't help themselves. They just have to keep going. There's no end in sight for this. So now the tech industry's got to go, okay, are we gonna sacrifice our companies for conspiracy theorists? I don't think so. They're gonna ban them all. So what you're gonna see is a big shift in policy. A big shift, because I know how the tech industry works. They're gonna shift their policies. They're no longer gonna allow conspiracy theories. It's gonna be an automatic no-no. It's gonna be big black and white letters. We do not allow conspiracy theorists on our channel. So you're gonna see that policy shift. That's probably going to happen sometime in the next year. They already, like I said, they're pulling their API so that they can monitor just the postings themselves. So when people post these videos, that they're going to have to get it okayed before they do it. You're no longer going to be able to just go, okay, here's an automatic API post. You're going to have to go in. They're going to monitor your IP. They're going to monitor your streaming software, and then they're going to monitor you. And then when they see you talking about Jason Momoa and his kids, they're going to ban your channel live. So they're going to shift into this more of this Gestapo atmosphere where they're real-time monitoring channels of their live streams. And they want to know what people are talking about, what people are chatting about. Is it a good thing? I don't know. Is it a thing that needs to be done? Probably for a little while. It's out of hand. I mean, look what's going on, man. Like I said, what did this man do? Nothing. But he had a few pictures and videos of him with his kids, and they altered those videos in a malicious manner to make him look like a pedophile. That's irresponsible. That's targeting of children. I mean, come on. I mean, if you have any brains in your head, you would stand up and say, this is morally wrong. This is morally wrong what you're doing to this man. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing that YouTube has taken a hard stance at this. They should. And I don't think this guy's messing around. This guy, he wants heads, man. He's pissed off. I mean, all day, a lot of actors have been posting about what was done to him, and they're like, hey, man, this ain't okay. And a lot of other people are posting that it's not okay. And this guy has a huge fan base. He doesn't, it's not just huge fan base. And he's never been known for anything awful. He's a family man. He's Hawaiian. He's a Samoan. He hangs out with the likes of The Rock and all those guys. They're all Samoan. And they've been in the industry a long time. And Samoans, they're good people. The Samoans are very good people. And to make these kind of accusations about them is just ridiculous. So, as we watch live streaming become regulated, which it's going to be, it's high time that it does. It's high time that it does become regulated. Because you can't run around making up these kind of false stories about these stars, especially in this day and age where, it's all you see is conspiracy theories. I mean, it's out of hand. It's friggin' whacked. And that's, I'm disgusted by it. I'm disgusted by the amount of just utter irresponsibility that people are doing for $1. That's all it is, too. It's all about the money. That's why people do this. It has nothing to do about truth seeking. It has nothing about finding truths, It's not responsible. Nothing about it. It's about making money. And these YouTubers are using the platform, and they're using what I call gotcha journalism or gotcha, and they're making up fake news. People are quick to say CNN is fake news, but on YouTube and Periscope right now, fake news is at its all-time high on those platforms too. And on both sides, what we're seeing is a big upswing in the fake news department on both sides. It's almost like who's going to be faker than the other guy. It's disgusting to watch on both sides. And when you're a logical thinker or a in the middle kind of guy like myself, and you watch both sides do this, you just shake your head. What do we see every day? We're just inundated with so many false disinformation and things about people that aren't true. You watch them do it with Tom Hanks. They do it, and it's all for the money. I don't have the Q post. I didn't say Q posted it. I should take that back. I'm talking QAnon conspiracy theorists, people that believe in QAnon, who were tagging Jason Momoa in the QAnon post. So it wasn't QAnon itself, but QAnon has generated such a filthy base of people that just don't understand. They just believe any conspiracy theory that's tagged to the hashtag QAnon. I think that's what I'm trying to say here. It doesn't matter what you put in a hashtag. If it says QAnon, 400 people will retweet it. It doesn't matter what it is. I mean, you could tweet anything. You could tweet anything as long as it was tagged with QAnon, and people would believe it. That's where the internet has come to. They're wackos. Yeah, we got a bunch of whack jobs. And, at some point, big tech's got to regulate this shit. It's at the point, and I'm all for it, man. Regulate the live streams. I'm not saying regulate free speech, but regulate the live streams. Because, you have a moral responsibility not to watch children become victims to scumbags that are running platforms to make money. That's not okay. So, of course there's no Q. We all know that. We in the real world know this. But, Jason Momoa, I feel so bad for him. Imagine his poor children going to school. It's like, wow, do you really have to go this low? Do you really have to destroy a man's life Do you really have to attack his children? Do you have to do these things? Do you have to do that? You know, if I was Jason Momoa, I would find the one that started it and knock on his fucking door. And Jason Momoa ain't no small dude. That dude's a big motherfucker. You know, and I would be worried that Jason Momoa, because he's a multi-millionaire, he could get on a fucking jet tomorrow morning and land at one of these little assholes' house and knock on that door and be like, did you put that video up of my children? And fucking live stream that shit when he's fucking pounding the piss out of them. You know, that I would laugh my ass off if Jason Momoa did that. I would be like, good for him. Good for him. Right on. If Jason Momoa knocked on some bitch's door and said, did you put my kids up on there? Did you put my kids up on there? And Jason Momoa fucking jack slap him so hard he goes to fucking China. I would laugh my ass off. I'd be like, good for him. Good for him. Jason Momoa, that's what you ought to do, my friend. Get on a fucking jet and knock on the first door. That's what I would do. By Jesus. If that was my kids, I would too. Right. They would shit their pants. Fucking, he'd grab them right by the fucking throat and pull them out of their house. You son of a bitch. You know? I bet you they wouldn't post another fucking video in their life. And then he should live stream it. I'm telling you. He should live stream it right on YouTube. Be like the day I beat the shit out of a conspiracy theorist. It'd be over right there, man. That shit would get 10 million hits. That shit would get 10 million hits in about 5 minutes, man. Everybody be clapping. Everybody be like, yeah, get him. Yeah. He would just take it. Oh, man. You know. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Crazy. People lost their fucking minds doing this kind of shit. Let me be the first, Mr. Momoa from the Conservative Party, the ones with brains. We apologize for what they've done to you and your family. We're not like that. We don't do that, and we would never do that to somebody. Irresponsible. Irresponsible. No man should, you know, and this is why Republicans are looking fucking stupid. This is why Republicans are looking fucking stupid. This shit right here, man. This is why people laugh at us. This is why people go, oh, these fucking idiots. You know, that's why they do it. That's why they laugh. That's why they giggle. It's shit like this, man. It's the exact shit like this. It just makes us look fucking stupid. And the rest of the world just goes, wow, really? Wow. And sometimes I think some of these conspiracy theorists, they do it on purpose. Sometimes I think they do it on purpose. I don't know whether the Democrats are paying them to do this shit, but I don't know, man. Well, I think Jason Momoa will be fine. I don't know if the people that did this to him will be fine. He's going to financially wreck them. But, you know, hey, you know, it gets worse by the day with all these guys, right? I mean, let's think. It just gets worse by the day. The more I see on Twitter, the more I shake my head. The more I shake my head. I just don't know anymore. I mean, I've heard it all in the last couple of weeks. I've heard it all. Everything from Robert Mueller's a good guy to, you know, I digress. I don't know anymore. I just watch and shake my head. It's so much stupid that comes out of Twitter. You know, a lot easier to regulate things when you get people clamoring for it. Well, I think well, again, man, hey, if conspiracy theorists want to act this responsible, they can get the hammer dropped upon them. It's as simple as that. If people spoke out against it and said, hey, no more, maybe it wouldn't happen. Maybe it wouldn't happen. But people were not holding these conspiracy theorists accountable, and here we are. And now somebody's got to do the dirty deed for it, you know? And Jason Momoa seems to be the guy that's going to do it. He's just like, oh, fuck it. These guys want to do this shit? Okay. I'll drop the hammer. And his approach seems to be pretty well, you know, effective. When you sue a tech company and hold them responsible, The tech company then drops the hammer on everybody else, and that's what's going on. Is he's holding the tech companies responsible. Yeah, I mean, look at these guys. They think JFK Jr.'s alive. I mean, just shit after shit after shit, man. And we watch it daily. We watch it daily. And, you know, when the truthers don't have a platform anymore, because that's what's going to happen, right? The truthers are going to be done. They're not going to have a platform anymore. And they can thank their destructive buddies, that have done this to them. The guys that the truthers didn't hold accountable, that they allowed to keep going with this nonsense. And, you know, so the truther community won't have a platform. It'll be gone. You know, so what happened? Yeah, you know, bad apples are bad apples. And nobody held them accountable. And here we are. Here we are on the eve of regulation. So there's no more API access, which is important to a lot of people. API is very, very important. Everyone from websites, news sites, video platforms, everybody uses API. If you're not familiar with API, it's what we call automatic posting. So whenever you write a news story in a blog, you know, if you have a news website, it'll automatically post to Twitter with your headline for your news post. So what it looks like is YouTube and Twitter are teaming up, and they're going to start regulating their API. I know Twitter, as of right now, you have to actually get approved for their API system, and you have to actually write why you want to use it. But it looks like they're going to go one step further with monitoring before you even go live with videos. So say you're going to do a video, JFK Jr. is alive. Well, the monitoring system's going to say, okay, this guy wants to do a video about why JFK Jr. is alive. Fact check, we know he's dead. No, you can't do that video. And then they're going to start banning the platforms. That's how they're going to do it. That's how their regulation's going to work. They're going to be like, oh, man, you post some crazy shit. We don't want you on here. And then that's how it's going to work. You know, and conspiracy theorists are going to, bye. Bye. I knew the day was coming. But here we are. We're on the eve. This is just the beginning. You know, this is just the beginning of what we call the regulation of social media. It was coming. You can't stop it. You know, we knew the day would come. That's why platforming isn't going to be even, it ain't even going to be worthy anymore pretty soon. It's not even going to be worth it. It's going to be a total waste of fucking time. Because when they regulate it, they're going to put you in a box. They're going to put you in a box. You're not going to be able to get out. Nobody's going to see you. Nobody's going to hear you. It's just going to be all worthless. So, you know, here we are. Here we are. The eve of the destruction of live streaming is pretty much upon us. You'll be able to talk about things such as crocheting, knitting, baking a cake. But, you know, when it comes to, you know, politics and things like that, they're gonna drop the hammer on that stuff. You're gonna have to have a special pass even to do it. I knew it would come. You know, they ruined it. They allowed it to go on. At some point, it was gonna happen. But I feel bad for Momoa, man. Yeah, it's wrong for them to do that. Absolutely wrong. You know, what did he actually do? He did nothing to anybody. He absolutely did nothing. And these sons of bitches, as usual, attacking people's children and attacking families. I don't like that. I don't like when I see people attacking people's families and children. It really bothers me. That really, really bothers me when you watch, you know, even if they're famous, you know, they don't deserve that. The kids aren't famous. The kids don't have a say in their father's industry. You know, what right did people have to go search out his kids? That's what they did, too. Remind you, these people that did this to him searched out his children. You know, they searched out his children. Kids are protected. Kids are protected in this country. You can't go searching out people's children. And that's what people did. So they went into Mr. Momoa's private things. This wasn't even stuff that was in the industry. or the entertainment industry. These were private Facebook posts and things like that that were meant for his family and his friends. And they went and they targeted his children. You can't do that. You cannot target people's children. That is wrong. And I've watched him do it with John Legend too. They targeted his kids too. What right do people have to target people's kids? Nobody has a right to target people's children. If you ask me, that's as bad as pedophiles. When you're actively seeking out these people for things that you want to use to slander them, you're a fucking you're up there with the fucking pedophiles. If you ask me, you're up there with the grossest of the gross, because you're still victimizing children. You might not be victimizing them sexually, but you are victimizing them mentally, and you are victimizing their state of mind. That's what you're doing. So you're a predator in an essence, because you're targeting this man's children. And that doesn't make you any better. There should be laws that put you in the same fucking class as a pedophile if you're actively being predatory towards children. I don't like it. I don't like it. It really bothers me when people seek out other people's children. It's none of your fucking business, one. And if you suspect something, you call the police. You don't go onto social media and just make up stories, right? You just don't do that. And the fact that these people just went on social media and made up these stories, that makes them as bad as a pedophile. It really does. It really does in my eyes. You're no better. You're taking advantage of children. You're abusing children. Whether you see it or not that way, I see it that way. Because those kids, like I said, they're going to go to school. They're gonna be out in public with their little friends, and the first thing that's going to come out of other kids' mouths is going to be, "Oh, I read a story about your dad," or "I saw a video about your dad. Is it true?" So therefore, you've abused that child. You've abused that child without even thinking about the consequences. You just abused that child. You turned that kid into a sexual object, and that kid was never a sexual object. You did that. That's your fault. You conspiracy theorists turned this kid into that. That's what I'm talking about. That's the real victimization of children. That's the real victimization of children. And people have a moral responsibility not to do that. Think of it like this. What if somebody did this to your children? How would you feel if someone did this to you? I don't know where the video started, but they're going to find out. They're going to find out. But the fact of the matter is, how would you feel if somebody did this to your children and just made up a wild story because you were hugging your child or you were carrying your child? How would you feel? You would be irate. You would be pissed. You would lose your fucking mind that somebody would even dare say those kind of things about your child. That's what I'm talking about. So Jason Momoa has every right to be pissed. There's a video of him hugging his kids, and they were calling him a pedophile. And then they made a YouTube. They were doing live streams about it. They thought it was fucking funny. But they do it for the clicks. They do it for the money. I'm sure those channels have been ripped down by YouTube by now, but this is where we're at in this country, though. I'm telling you, we have people playing Pictionary online. And by Pictionary, what I mean online is people take people's pictures and they make up stories about the pictures without knowing what the essence of the picture is. That's the new thing, by the way, is people taking pictures and videos and distorting the message behind the video or the picture. It's informational warfare. That's what's going on online. It's informational warfare. The art of the meme has, kind of evolved into something that's not very good. The memes were effective, but now the memes are becoming slander. They're becoming inappropriate. And they're becoming a weapon of destruction. for no reason but to make money. And people take these YouTube platforms, these conspiracy platforms, and they make shit up. Why are they picking on this family? Because they're fucking degenerates and they want to make money. They're grifters. Grifters do this. They wanted headlines. They wanted the people to run in. I mean, what is better clickbait? Jason Momoa is a pedophile. Live on video. I mean, think about that. That's clickbait. That's clickbait. Everyone went running in. That's clickbait. So everybody went, what? Oh my God. Oh my God, what is this? So everybody goes running into this live stream because it's the clickbait, right? Because this is what they posted. Jason Momoa is a pedophile. Children in video. So they post that up. And of course, people are going to run in. They're going to be like, whoa, what? Because Aquaman is hot right now, right? So Aquaman is trending. It's a hit movie. It's the #1 movie 4 weeks in a row. And it's going to trend immediately because it's got Jason Momoa's name in it. So these guys, these grifters, these conspiracy theorist grifters know that they're going to use a trend in order to make money. So they put that in the headline, and then all the people run in. And then they make up this horrible, horrible story about Jason Momoa with his kids while they're asking for money on PayPal and Patreon and this and on and that and on. This is why I'm out of the platform game. It's degeneracy like this that doesn't even want it. That's why I'm leaving it. It's degeneracy, man. People are doing horrible shit for money. Horrible fucking shit to people for money. And that's all it's about. It's about who can we slander, who can we be horrible to for money. That's all it is. That's the name of the game these days. It's how horrible can I be online to get your money. And what's the biggest lie that I can tell you to take your money? That's what's going on social media. That's the essence of social media right now. There's not even any truth to anything anymore. There's no truth to nothing. All we see are lies all over the place. And, you know, I've thought long and hard on that, you know, and I just don't want to participate. That's why I demonetize my platform. I would rather make no money on my platform and be honest than to engage in these kind of irresponsible, slanderous, degenerate activities that other people are engaging in. You know, and I'll be the only one to say, I don't accept money, I'm sorry. Because that's where it's at, right? That's where these irresponsible platformers are these days. They don't care about people's lives. They don't care that they're shattering people's, people's families. You know, like I said, I was talking about Buck Wolf. Guy killed his own brother because he was watching Praying Medic. Praying Medic's going to say it's not my fault. But the guy was watching you. The guy watched all you guys' channels. And I'm not just blaming Praying Medic. I'm blaming all the conspiracy theorists. I put them all in the same box. So this guy, Buck Wolf, is watching all of these irresponsible people. All these irresponsible... And then he murders his brother. Do they take some responsibility in this murder? Yep. They sure do. Because this guy was schizophrenic. He became he became engulfed in this message of good versus evil. This message of, you know, all of it, right? So Buck Wolf loses his mind slowly. And then he kills his own brother, who was the only one that could take care of him in life, because he was a schizophrenic. So, you know, they destroyed, not only did they destroy Buck Wolf's life, they destroyed the brother's life who was trying to help him. Imagine that. Imagine that. That's the wake of destruction that is being left behind on social fucking media. This is the wake of destruction that's being left behind in the era of social media and live streaming and live platforms. Is it irresponsible? It is, man. It is, you know. And it's got nothing to do with President Trump. It has nothing to do with politics. It's about the making of money on platforms, on social media. And they use President Trump and other key figures in order to make that money. That's what's going on. And they'll argue about it all day long. They'll argue. They'll argue all day long that they're doing no harm to anybody and that, you know, it's not their fault. It is your fault. You're putting out false narratives. You're putting out lies. You're putting out deceit. You're enraging people. You're getting people to do dumb shit. Of course it's your fault. It's your fault 100%. You know, and people have a moral responsibility to be truthful and be responsible with their platforms. And people just aren't. They care about the money more than they care about the message. And that's what you're seeing on social media. And why you're seeing things like this happen to Jason Momoa. You know, that's exactly why it's happening. It's just straight up irresponsible bullshit. Every day. You shake your head at it and you go, wow, this is what social media has come to. You know, it's one thing to have a positive message, but when you're inundating people with lies, deceit, degeneracy, slander, what do you think's gonna happen? Bad shit. And you know, I watch it week after week, man. Week after week, I watch. Trust the plan, all of it, just really fucking degeneracy. You know, and you gotta feel bad. You gotta feel bad for people like, you know, Jason Momoa, who did nothing to anybody but entertain and watch them attack his children. You know, it's absolutely disgusting. It's vile. You know, and you know, and when platforms are gone, maybe it'll be a good thing. Maybe it'll be a good thing when live streaming is gone. Some of the chaos will stop. You know, is what it is. Oh, morality is the word of Sasha. Yeah, well, a lot of people don't have morals anymore. A lot of that stems from that too. No morals, none. They say they have morals, but they don't. Because anybody who can do this to a family doesn't have morals. They're fucking lying. They don't have any morals. They don't. They have no morals at all. They have no class. They have no self-respect. They have no dignity. They have nothing. They're ignorance. They're ignorance in its fullest form. You know, and again, this is why the Republican Party gets laughed at, whether people like to hear it or not. This is why we get laughed at. This is the fucking shit that the Democrats love. This is what gives them the power that they have. Shit like this. They go, oh, these fucking Republicans, these crazy conspiracy theorists. You know, they're eating it up. Every time something like this happens, it gives them power. So basically, these Democrats, they're being empowered by our own fruitcakes. They're being empowered by our own fruitcakes. I try to tell the truth. But people don't like when you tell the truth. That's one of the major things about the platforms right now, is people don't want to hear the truth. You heard me earlier when I was talking. I had people running out of my scope because they didn't want to hear about it. They didn't like the fact that I was demonetizing my channels. They didn't like that fact. They ran out. They're like, you know, the one argument people have always had, it's about the money for you. And the minute I demonetize my channels, they're like, fuck you, I'm out of here. You know, and they ran out because they lost the whole argument. They were like, oh man, this guy's not in it for the money anymore. This guy's doing it out of his own free will. Fuck. How am I going to argue with this guy? How am I going to counter his message? How am I going to... You can't. You can't counter anything I'm saying. You've lost the power. I've taken it away from you. I've taken that one scrap that even people believed. It's gone. Now when I say, hey, these people are scam artists, I'm telling you, they're fucking scam artists. This is what they do. They're scamming you. They're lying to you. You know, I watch as they make lies up, like today. What was the going lie today from the big pundits out there? As me and Thomas will sit in a private chat and fucking laugh when we read it. Today's biggest lie was that these pundits predicted that Ruth Ginsburg would leave. She's got terminal cancer, morons. I think all of Twitter could have predicted she was left. But these pundits, they will grift. And they will use hot topics in order to grift you. And we watch every day. Me and Thomas watch. We're like, oh my God, here we go. Here, look, watch this. So these pundits now, this thing is what they do. They go, I have an inside source inside the government that says that Ruth Bader Ginsburg will be replaced. Dude, she's got terminal cancer. Of course she's going to get replaced. What are you, stupid? A carrot could predict it. You know, and you watch all these things go on. And then I watched today, as people said, because William Barr, listen to this. This one will get you. This one will get you. Because of William Barr went to church with Mueller's wife and went to a Bible study with her, it means that Mueller is now a good guy. This is the shit they come up with. This is the absolute ridiculousness of the Republican Party and some of these pundits who don't live in Washington, D.C., mind you. Let me remind everybody, they don't live in Washington, D.C. They don't work in Washington, D.C. They have nothing to do with Washington, D.C. A matter of fact, these pundits don't even fucking know anybody in Washington, D.C. Yet these are the people that are giving you this expert advice. Yet they fucking don't know a person. They have no clue. They don't know anybody. But yet people take them as the authority of Washington, D.C. It's the funniest shit to watch. I watch it on a daily basis with Thomas, and we shake our head as Thomas is like, geez, these guys don't even know anybody. You know, and today we were talking, we're like, how does a couple of people in, say, you know, Florida, Arizona, California, they're not in Washington, D.C. How the fuck do these guys know what's going on? They don't work for anybody in government. How the fuck do these guys know what's going on? They don't know anything. They don't know nothing. But yet now Mueller's a good guy. Dude, you don't have anything to do with the government. Sit the fuck down. You're just making shit up. You're clickbaiting everybody. Sit the fuck down, dude. Just sit the fuck down. You're stupid. You know, and we watch it. We watch it and we fucking laugh. Because what they do is they use the news narrative and they use the popular posts in order to construct a story, a false narrative, in order to ensnare their users. It's what they do. It's called a grift. A grift is when you take a popular item, such as a news story or a news cycle story, and you spin it. And you spin it in a manner that is going to benefit you. And that has what has gone on for the past 4 months. Really bad in the past 4 months. I call it the battle of the platforms. Because politics is getting a little dry. It's getting a little boring. People are starting to drift away from it because it's a shithole. And they're losing what I call, they're losing people that have interest. They just don't have interest anymore. So in order to keep these people coming back, they got to spin a false narrative. And what better way than to start telling you a new story about how Robert Mueller's a good guy? Because we know that Robert Mueller isn't going to be releasing any information anytime soon. They did the same thing with Jeff Sessions, mind you. Same exact fucking thing. So now they're starting to spin this, Mueller's running this secret investigation behind closed doors. And he's going to bring down Hillary Clinton and the whole cabal. Nobody can know about what's going on with Robert Mueller. This is the secretest investigation that you will ever know of. And we'll run this grift for about a year. Because we know that Robert Mueller's not going to be releasing anything anytime soon. So call me a fucking liar. Prove me wrong. That's what they do. And people, week after week, fall for this false fucking bullshit. Week after week, they fall for it. You're a sucker if you fall for this. It's the same fucking grift, man. It's Jeff Sessions 2.0. That's what's going on. It's Jeff Sessions 2.0. They're using the same shit, the same tactic. Jeff Sessions is running a secret operation in order to bring the deep state down. Nobody knows he's in the back. Remember that? He's in the back room. He's the slow walker. Now they're doing it with Robert Mueller. Robert Mueller's in the back room. He's getting ready to work with William Barr. How else would William Barr be the coming in Attorney General unless he's working with Robert Mueller in some secret takedown of the government? This is the shit they're spinning. This is the actual shit they're spinning. This is what they're telling you. How on earth can people even believe this shit? It's like, come on, man. Are you that big of a fucking lollipop? I swear to God, the people that believe in this horse shit live in fucking trailers in the middle of fucking Montana, and they have never seen the internet. It's like the first week they've ever been on the internet. I swear to God, these are the people. They're, all right, Mary, this is what this guy's saying here on this Periscope channel. Robert Mueller's running a secret investigation in the back room, and William Barr is going to start taking these guys down, Mary, and this is what's going to happen, because this is what they're telling us. Mary, you got to come listen to this guy. He knows what's going on in Washington, D.C., although he ain't never fucking been there, but he knows what's going on behind the scenes. Get on in here. Oh, and he wants us to give $50 to his PayPal, his Patreon, and his Bitcoin. Let's head on over there. These guys are doing God's work, Mary. They have a direct link to the President of the United States. You know what I'm saying? That fucking Christ, man. Holy fuck, this is what we're dealing with. And that's how you tell somebody of intellect and somebody without intellect. What I just showed you. That's exactly what's going on, folks. That's the cream of the fucking crop right there. Trailer Park Mary and her husband Wilbur. That's exactly what's going on. Because they're too stupid to see that they're being fucking slammed. That's exactly what's going on. If you don't believe me, head on into one of them scopes sometime and see how they talk. You'll be like, oh my God. Holy shit. Oh my God. What the fuck's going on in here? You will too. You'll be like amazed. You'll be like, holy shit. What did I just watch? Did I just really watch this? Did I just really watch this? Is this what I came on the internet for? That's the shit that's going on, man. Not a one of them with a connection to Washington, D.C. Not a one in government. But the fucking experts will tell you all about it. They'll tell you all about it, man. On a daily basis. Without a fucking clue. Without a fucking clue. It's amazing to watch. Mueller scalps Manafort, Flynn, Page. I know, man. I know. You got the mass arrest, slow walker, slow talker. Let me tell you, the only slow walkers I see are the people watching that channel. That's it. That's the only slow walkers. Slow thinkers. Those are the only people that are the real slow walkers and slow thinkers. We used to have a name for those people. We would call them less than all there. A little mentally stupid. I can't say it because, political correctness. Slow learners. That's what we call them. Very good. So we'll call them slow learners. So the people that actually believe in this shit are the actual slow learners in this country. It's probably people who can't read, who can't write, have trouble putting, sentence structure together, or, thinking, doing math, rational thinking, that kind of shit. So the slow learners are the ones that are attracted to this crap, and there's many of them. Blame the mobile phone. Blame the fucking mobile phone for all of this happening. It's the mobile phone's fault. Because all of the fucking Trailer Park Marys now have a mobile phone. And they're like, get on in here, Mary. They're scoping again about the deep state. Even though they're sitting in fucking Highland, Florida. They're scoping about what's going on in D.C. These sons of bitches. And they said we have to give to their PayPal and Patreon tonight. Because they're going to stop it. Because, you know, giving to their Patreon and PayPals will fucking end the deep state. Didn't you know that? Cop just got shot in California. Yeah. Well, hopefully he's okay. World's on fire, man. A cop was just shot in Louisiana last night, too. I saw that. Poor lady. Actually got shot in the head. Prayers for her family. I did read that story. Awful. Awful story. But, you know, cops put themselves on the line, man. I was just talking to my hairdresser about that today. My barber, my hairdresser. I went and got my hair cut earlier, and we were just talking about that. The disrespect of police officers. And how people don't respect them enough. You know, when they need them, boy, they're on the phone awful quick. Please save me. Other than that, you know, most of these people don't get it. You know, all these fuck the polices and all these guys, they don't get it. But boy, when they need a cop, man, first person they call, 911, I need your help. You know, it's sad to see in this country the disrespect that the cops get. You know, they're just doing a job, man. They're just doing a job. Cut the shit. They're just doing a job. Someone's got to do it. God bless them. Not many people even want to be a cop anymore. It's a hard job. You take a lot of shit. It's probably just as hard as being a politician these days. God bless them, guys. They do. I saw Mannon's post and I replied to it. My response to Mannon was this. I said, when you were going to jump off that roof, who was the first person to come pull you down off that roof? A police officer. You probably should think before you post. Because, you know, who's there for you when you really need it? A police officer. And I said to Mannon, I said, you probably ought to go thank that officer because that officer probably saved your life. But you can't, like I said, you can't make people rationally think, man. You just can't. You can't make people rationally think anymore. It's impossible. People just have gone fucking berserk. Crazy. On all sides. You watch it daily. It's fucking nuts, man. They'll do anything. They'll post anything for as wild as they can get it. Wild. A buck wild, you know. Look at Acosta today. I'm down here. It's peaceful. There's a big metal wall here. It's tranquil on the border. We have seen nobody trying to cross the border. And then he does the job. He pretty much explains that a border wall works. And he does that eloquently live on TV. And all the people watching CNN are like, wow, walls really do work. Look how nice it is right there. Look how nice it is right there. Because there's a big wall in between it. You know? So Jim Acosta pretty much got laughed at today because he pretty much promoted the wall without even knowing it, you know? So, you know, you watch the false narrative out there on every little thing. It's just a riot to watch. But anyway, I'm going to end the scope here. Again, Jason Momoa, I'm sorry about your children, man. It's such an awful thing to have to go through. Prayers to you and your family. No one should go through this. And I hope you seek some justice for your children, because what they did to you was wrong, my friend. And this is just coming from one American to another. It's a bullshit. But anyway, I'm out of here, folks. You guys have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful night.